We're live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Nipakshi Khurana, coming up in the next 30 minutes. Engine fuel supply was cut just before Ahmedabad Air India jet crash. Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau releases preliminary probe report, says cockpit audio reveals pilot's confusion over mid-air fuel cutoff. U.S. State Department starts firing more than 1,350 workers in Trump's shake-up of diplomatic corps. Layoffs affect 1,107 civil service and 246 foreign service workers. India's Maratha military landscapes make it to the UNESCO World Heritage list. India's 44th property to receive this recognition. Extraordinary network of 12 forts highlight strategic strength. And Wimbledon enters final stage. In women's single, Swiatek of Poland faces Anisimova of the US today, while in men's single, Sinner sets up final versus Alcaraz to be played on Sunday. And moving on to the details now, India's Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau has released a preliminary report on the June 12th crash of an Air India Boeing 787-8 aircraft in Ahmedabad, revealing both the engines shut down within seconds of takeoff. According to the report, the aircraft achieved the maximum recorded airspeed of 180 knots IS at about 080842 UTC, and immediately thereafter the engine 1 and engine 2 fuel cutoff switches transitioned from run to cutoff position one after another with a time gap of 0.1 seconds. The engine N1 and N2 began to decrease from the takeoff values as the fuel supply to the engines was cut off. The report also includes a conversation between the pilots on the fuel control before the crash. In the cockpit voice recording, one of the pilots is heard asking the other why did he cut off, to which the second pilot replied that he had not done so. The report acknowledged that the CCTV footage obtained from the airport showed Ram Air Turbine RAT getting deployed during the initial climb immediately after liftoff. No significant bird activities observed in the vicinity of the flight path. The aircraft started to lose altitude before crossing the airport perimeter wall. Meanwhile, Air India acknowledged receipt of the 15-page preliminary report and said it continues to fully cooperate with the AAIB and other authorities. In a post on X, Air India stated Air India stands in solidarity with the families and those affected by the AI-171 accident. We continue to mourn the loss and are fully committed to providing support during this difficult time. We acknowledge receipt of the preliminary report released by the Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau today, 12th of July 2025. Air India is working closely with stakeholders, including regulators. We continue to fully cooperate with the AAIB and other authorities as the investigation progresses. Given the active nature of the investigation, we are unable to comment on specific details and refer all such inquiries to the AAIB. And moving on, India successfully test-fired India's Beyond Visual Range air-to-air missile Astra with 100 km strike range off the coast of Odisha on Friday. The missile is equipped with indigenous radio frequency seeker from Su-30 Mk1 platform, which beams out a radar signal to find and track the targets. The successful flight tests have re-established the accuracy and reliable performance of Astra weapon system with indigenous seeker. Astra BB-RAM has a range exceeding 100 kilometers and is equipped with state-of-the-art guidance and navigation system. In addition to various laboratories of DRDO, more than 50 public and private industries, including Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, have contributed towards successful realization of the weapon system. While Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh complimented DRDO, IAF and industry involved in the design and development of RF Seeker and stated that the successful testing of the missile with indigenous Seeker is a major milestone in critical defense technology. And President Draupadi Murmu attended a special screening of the film Tanvi the Great at the Rashtrapati Bhavan Cultural Centre in New Delhi. The President lauded the film's storytelling and its cultural significance, emphasizing its role in promoting Indian cinema. The film gives the message of inclusion through the story of a young autistic girl who fulfills her dream with resolve and resilience. The event, held on Friday, showcased the cinematic work of acclaimed Indian actor and director Anupam Kher, featuring Anupam in the lead role alongside debutant Shubhangi Dutt. With Game of Thrones star Ian Glenn and Boman Irani, Tanvi the Great tells the inspiring story of a determined young woman with autism who embarks on a journey to fulfill the dream of a late father and officer in the Indian Army. The screening of the film in Rashtrapati Bhavan was attended by dignitaries, आर्टिस्ट एंड फिल्म एंथुसियास्ट।
सौभाग्य की बात थी कि राष्ट्रपति महोदया जी ने, मैडम प्रेसिडेंट ने हमारी फिल्म देखी कास्ट के साथ और क्रू के साथ, और मेरे लिए वो विजुअल हमें ज़िंदगी भर याद रहेगा कि वो फिल्म के अंत में खड़े होकर ताली मारी उन्होंने और इनसे कहा कि बहुत अच्छा काम किया। प्रेसिडेंट साहिबा ने फिल्म देखी, जो कि तीनों आर्म्ड फोर्सेस की चीफ कमांडर हैं। ये फिल्म आकांक्षाओं की है, आर्मी की है, आर्मी के शौर्य की तो है ही है, लेकिन आर्मी की उदारता की भी है।
And in a major step towards safeguarding India's digital future, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, Indian Computer Emergency Response Team, CERT-IN and CISA unveiled a white paper transitioning to quantum cyber readiness in New Delhi. MeitY Secretary S. Krishnan called quantum readiness a strategic imperative.
Work that has already started and is going on at various levels within the government and amongst various organizations towards getting ready for a quantum world. I think the National Quantum Mission was launched about 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, and there's a lot of work going on there. Significance of this event today is also that it represents a public-private partnership. In addition to CERT-IN, we also have CISA, who has joined us in bringing out this paper and spreading the awareness of the quantum threat and making sure that there is more preparedness for this threat is an important objective of what this paper does. Not only is it a public-private partnership, it is a public-private partnership between an Indian entity and what is happening here.
While echoing this, CISA CEO Darshan Shantamurthy said CISA and CERT-IN's combined expertise offers a holistic strategy to protect India's digital ecosystem. The white paper aims to guide organizations in beginning their quantum-safe migration and preparing for the next era of cybersecurity.
I think one of the key things is what the industry is looking for is guidance on how we need to prepare against quantum security threats, and this white paper is a seminal paper in that direction, which will lay a path for Indian organizations to follow and prepare themselves for the quantum world. So one is on the quantum side. I think there's a lot of innovation that is happening thanks to the quantum mission. On the quantum security side, in the post-quantum cryptography and those kinds of aspects, I think there's a lot of work that is being done too, and companies like CISA, which is also pioneering in quantum security, we are doing our level to actually make sure that we are ready for the PQ, for the post-quantum world. We are looking to partner with global organizations, other countries, and then see how we can share our knowledge in the deep tech cybersecurity space.
Well, India has emerged as the global leader in fast payments driven by the Unified Payment Interface, according to a report by the IMF titled Growing Retail Digital Payments, the Value of Interoperability. The report highlights UPI's role in reducing cash usage and declining debit credit card transactions since its 2016 launch. IMF in its fintech note pointed out that India now makes the fastest payments of any country, and the credit for this goes entirely to UPI. UPI, developed by NPCI, processes over 18 billion transactions monthly, making it the world's largest retail fast payment system. The IMF noted that interoperability boosts digital payment adoption, with ATM withdrawal data showing a shift from cash in interoperable districts. The report recommends monitoring dominant players to ensure market competition and fostering inclusive dialogue with private sector participants. And Maratha military landscapes of India have been added to the UNESCO World Heritage list, becoming India's 44th property to receive this global recognition. The historic decision was made on Friday during the 47th session of the World Heritage Committee in Paris. This global accolade celebrates India's enduring cultural legacy, showcasing its diverse traditions of architectural brilliance, regional identity, and historical continuity. Located across a range of diverse terrains, from coastal outposts to hilltop strongholds, this extraordinary network of 12 forts reflects a sophisticated understanding of geography and strategic defense planning. Together, they form a cohesive military landscape that highlights the innovation and regional adaptation of fortification traditions in India. While India ranks 6th globally and 2nd in Asia-Pacific region for the most number of World Heritage sites, Prime Minister, Culture Minister, along with Chief Minister of Maharashtra, lauded the historic milestone and congratulated the people of India for this achievement. Well, the 10th batch of devotees departed from the twin base camps of Baltal and Anwan for their pilgrimage to the holy cave of Amarnath this morning amid tight security arrangements and unprecedented other facilities. Well, according to officials, 18,010 pilgrims visited Holy Cave, paid obeisance on Friday, which took total number of pilgrims performing darshan to 1,63,726 yatris in the last 9 days since the Holy Yatra started on July 3rd from twin tracks. The 38-day annual Amarnath pilgrimage to the 3,880-meter high Holy Cave Shrine in South Kashmir began on July 3rd and will conclude on August 9th. Free langar or community kitchen services continue to support pilgrims en route, especially at the Jammu base camp and several locations along the National Highway. Amarnath Yatra is an annual pilgrimage to the Amarnath cave where devotees pay homage to Lord Shiva and Goddess Parvati. Meanwhile, in order to ensure safe and uninterrupted pilgrimage to the holy shrine of Amarnath, the Indian Army has launched a high-intensity security operation, Operation Shiva 2025. The special security initiative has been taken in the wake of the Pakistani terrorist attack on the tourist in Pahalgam in April this year, following which the Army had launched the subsequent punitive counter-terror exercise, Operation Sindoor. Well, Army has deployed more than 8,500 troops to secure the Holy Amarnath pilgrimage route and Amarnath cave in Jammu and Kashmir, 9 medical aid points along the mountainous route, a 100-bed hospital, and oxygen supply of more than 2 lakh litres has been created by the Army, apart from 150 medical personnel and Army doctors. And central and northwest India is expected to witness heavy to very heavy rainfall in the coming days. The Indian Met Department has warned against heavy rainfall in the coming days as it issued orange alerts for 2 states. Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh are on IMD's orange alert as well, while Delhi NCR can expect more showers today. In Jammu and Kashmir, isolated heavy rainfall is likely between July 14th and 17th, while Uttar Pradesh, Odisha and Bihar can witness rains till early next week. And still to come in this edition of DD India Live. Trump and the First Lady visited flood-ravaged Karwel, received a briefing from first responders as search for missing continues. We'll give you all the highlights from day 2 of England versus India 3rd test at the Lords. And lotus flower blooms again in Bular Lake after 30 years, sparking hope in Kashmir for sustainable income.
Jharkhand will mesmerize you. with majestic nature, rich heritage and colorful culture.
Johar.
Johar. It fits perfectly.
Thank you.
Full workout हो गया.
Ready?
Postcards from Jharkhand on National Geographic.
Welcome back. You're watching it India Live. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, and moving on, more than 1,300 State Department employees were fired since Friday in a downsizing ordered by President Donald Trump as the administration of President Donald Trump presses ahead with an unprecedented overhaul of the U.S. diplomatic corps, a move critics say will undermine U.S. interest abroad. The layoffs covers 1,107 civil service and 246 foreign service officers based in the United States. The layoffs at the department came 3 days after the Supreme Court cleared the way for the Trump administration to begin carrying out its plan to gut entire government departments. The conservative-dominated top court lifted a temporary block imposed by lower court on Trump's plans to lay off potentially tens of thousands of employees. And almost 5,000 people have been killed in Haiti since October 2024 as gang violence has escalated, particularly around the capital, Port-au-Prince, according to a UN report. The surge in violence has displaced hundreds of thousands amid the humanitarian crisis, destabilizing the country and raising concerns of spillover effects in the region. Between October 2024 and June 2025, 4,864 people have been killed in Haiti amid worsening gang violence nationwide. Port-au-Prince and surrounding areas accounted for more than 1,000 of the deaths. Gangs have increasingly taken control across Haiti, overwhelming local security forces and forcing international aid organizations to scale back operations and forcing tens of thousands of residents from their homes. And U.S. President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump visited the Texas community of Kerrville on Friday, a week after flooding claimed at least 120 lives in the region. Trump, First Lady Melania Trump, and Texas Governor Greg toured areas near the river, receiving a briefing from first responders amid debris left in the wake of the flood. President Trump defended the state and federal response to deadly flash flooding as he visited the Hill County region where many children died a week ago. Search teams on Friday continued combing through muddy debris in central Texas, looking for the many still listed as missing. No survivors have been found since the day of the floods. The devastation of flash floods is clearly visible across Texas. Homes are submerged, roads are torn apart, and communities are left reeling from the sudden destruction.
The search for the missing continues. The people that are doing it are unbelievable people. We're also taking historic action to ensure that such a nightmare never happens again. We're not going to let a thing like this happen again where it can wreak this kind of devastation.
Well, a tornado warning abruptly interrupted in Iowa Speedway, forcing attendees to seek shelter as storm conditions swept through the area. Eyewitness footage captured the tense moments as weather alerts halted on-track activity and fans rushed to safety inside the Newton Club. While the storm caused a temporary disruption, the abnormal activity in the sky signaled a rapid approach of severe weather, prompting officials to immediately suspend the event for everyone's safety. Some abnormal activity was witnessed in Maryland when a rare shelf cloud was seen in the region a few days back. The rare cloud formation that forms along the foremost edge of the thunderstorm's gust front signals intensifying conditions. The U.S. National Weather Service issued a severe thunderstorm watch for parts of Delaware, Maryland, New Jersey and Pennsylvania that prompted tornado warnings. And following an unusually dry and scorching June, French firefighters in the Gironde region have presented a strengthened wildfire response strategy aimed at preventing a repeat of the devastating blazes that swept through the area in the summer of 2022. The improved plan includes expanded aerial support, faster mobilization and a proactive positioning of crews in high-risk zones. With climate change continuing to heighten wildfire risk in southern France, officials are urging vigilance while highlighting the critical role of early intervention. Last year's fires scorched tens of thousands of hectares and forced mass evacuations. Authorities hope the enhanced strategy will prevent a similar catastrophe this summer. And in sports, five-time Grand Slam winner Iga Swiatek has set up the Wimbledon summit clash with Amanda Anisimova on Saturday. Swiatek cruised into her first Wimbledon final with a breezy 6-2, 6-0 demolition of Tokyo Olympic champion Belinda Bencic in the semi-final. Swiatek, the clay court specialist, had never got past the last 8 in Wimbledon before this year. On the other hand, Anisimova soared into her maiden Wimbledon final by outclassing world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka 6-4, 4-6, 6-4 in the semi-finals. The Saturday's title showdown will crown a new Wimbledon champion for the 8th successive year. While in the men's final, Jannik Sinner will face Carlos Alcaraz on Sunday. World number 1 Jannik Sinner was a dominant straight set winner over 7-time champion Novak Djokovic. This is Sinner's 5th consecutive win against Djokovic, and he will bid for a 3rd title in a row now. While Carlos Alcaraz is into a 3rd successive men's single first final at Wimbledon and will bid for a 3rd straight title on Sunday, he defeated American Taylor Fritz in 4 sets in today's first semi-final. And our update on the 3rd test between India versus England underway at the Lords. On day 2 on Friday, Jasprit Bumrah claimed a brilliant 5-wicket haul. Joe Root struck a sublime century and KL Rahul anchored India's reply with an unbeaten 50. At stumps, India were at 145 for 3, trailing England by 242 runs, with Rahul at crease with 53 and Rishabh Pant with 19. Captain Shubman Gill, looking to break Rahul Dravid's record for most runs by an Indian in a test series in England, fell short after edging Vokes to keeper Jamie Smith, who stood up to the stumps. With the series tied at 1-1, the 3rd test is finally balanced heading into day 3. And India has been officially confirmed as the host nation for major international shooting competitions for the next 3 consecutive years. India will host the ISSF World Cup in 2027, ISSF Junior World Championship in 2028 and conduct the first ever edition of the Shooting League of India in November this year. This further cements India's standing as a trusted and capable global destination for the sport of shooting. And in a remarkable revival, the iconic Mulla Lake in India's Jammu and Kashmir has witnessed the return of the lotus flower after 3 decades. Once a defining feature of the lake, the lotus vanished following the 1992 floods. The turnaround is credited to the Vular Conservation and Management Authority, which launched a massive desilting project in 2020. Locally known as Nadru, lotus stems are a culinary delicacy in Kashmiri cuisine and a potential source of livelihood. The return of the lotus has revived hopes for sustainable income in a region facing economic challenges. All right, that's all for this edition of DD India Live. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Lipakshi Kurana from Alpha in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.